Hey everyone, today I'm going to be talking about my cymbal setup here. I've got a pretty big kit going on, and I figure it would be good to explain all of the cymbal selections that I have, why I picked them, what I use them for, and just give some explanations as to what's going on in this big old kit of mine. The first cymbal I'll be talking about is my 14-inch Peisty 20 Custom metal hats. They are an excellent set of hi-hats. I like to play a wide range of music. Some electronic, some metal. We write light rock stuff every now and then, big range of stuff. And a hat that's very diverse is an important thing for what I do. The 20 Custom line was designed from a very dark alloy. Tone-wise, dark meaning lower pitch here. That's a good thing because metal cymbals, because of their weight, tend to usually be quite high-pitched and cutting. With these being a darker sounding metal cymbal, they're powerful enough for the louder applications I might have, but delicate enough, due to the lower tonality, that they're usable in a wide range of styles. Here's a little clip of what it sounds like. The next cymbal I'll be talking about is the smallest cymbal in my setup. This is the Peisty Signature Reflector 8-inch Splash. Splashes, as a whole, are a fairly standard cymbal. They're designed for quick musical accents, short sustained noises, chokes, just an accent cymbal in general. The Peisty Signature Reflector line has a very bright finish, of course, but a fairly bright tonality, fairly refined, bright, just a nice, clear, defined splash sound that really cuts through a mix well. Here's what it sounds like. Okay, that was splash 1, now on to splash 2. This one is a Zildjian A Custom 10-inch splash. Not so different from the last one, but due to the larger diameter, it has a lower pitch. There's some nice interplay between the two because they are fairly similar tone-wise, so you can use them for different musical accents depending if you want to have a high-pitched splash into a low-pitched splash. I can do that. Here's what it sounds like. Next, we have the weirdest looking thing I've got on my kit. This is a Hammer Axe 10-inch Crash Course. It is made by Hammer Axe, which is of note because they make the weirdest cymbals. They have this one crash that's so thin it wobbles like jello. Anyways, this particular stack is made up of 4 pieces of metal stacked on top of each other. Stacks in general are kind of like splashes in that they're effect cymbals. This stack has a very short, sustained burst, lots of almost a static sound. It's great for electronic or just a fast little burst accent, that kind of thing. Here's what it sounds like. The next cymbal I'll be talking about here is my 9-inch aluminum bell. It's from PSTX and it's called the Pure Bell. It has a very different tonal character than the other bells, which are on the rides here, that I have in my setup due to being made out of aluminum. It's very powerful if you hit it with the shoulder, but it has some really neat tones if you hit it with just the tip of the stick. It has a fair range of applications for accents and fills just because of this tonal character, and it plays really well with the other bells that I have. Here's what it sounds like. Okay, now we'll start talking about some of the bigger stuff. Here, I've got my 2 main crashes. They are both from the Peisty Signature Reflector Heavy Full Crash line. This one here is 17-inch, this one is 18. They're very similar tone-wise due to being basically the same cymbal with an inch difference. And they are an excellent crash. Fairly bright, powerful, very shimmery. Great for a lot of stuff. Powerful, cuts through a mix well, but not as powerful as like a Rude or a Z Custom or any other metal cymbal line. Nice finish as well. Us drummers like shiny things. And here is what they sound like. Next we have my two Chinas. These two are both from the Peisty 20 custom metal line again, and this one here is 20 inch with this one being an 18 inch. I had initially bought another China, which wasn't bad. I still have it in my setup in the form of the sack, but these two are my ideal Chinas. They are dark and powerful. They have a lot of volume when you need it, but like the hi-hats that I was talking about earlier, they're not so bright that they can't be used in more musical, mellow applications than metal. However, they are powerful enough to be used in metal as well. The two China setup is really great for interplay if I'm going to be doing different stuff between the two of them. They complement each other very nicely, and personally, to me, I don't think there's a better China on the market. Here is what they sound like. Next, I'll be talking about my stack here. This is two Chinas placed on top of each other. The bigger one on the bottom is from the Peisty signature line. It is the 18-inch thin China. The one on top is once again from the Peisty 20 custom line. It is a 16-inch thin China. It unfortunately has a chunk taken out of it. I was a bit hard on it and I cracked it and I had to cut it out. However, wonderful sounding cymbal, and when you put them on top of each other, it gives a really great stack sound that complements my hammer axe stack over here quite nicely. It sounds like this. Next is my largest crash, which actually doubles as a ride as well. It is the Peisty 2002 Wild Crush ride and it's 20 inches. It's very, very loud, very explosive, very dark. It has a bit of a trashy edge, but it's mostly just what you'd expect from a dark cymbal, which is interesting, coming from 2002, made of a B8 alloy, which is generally a fairly bright alloy if you're at all familiar with it. Like I said, it can be used as a crash or a ride, and I generally use it in situations where I'll be doing some wash on the ride for sections and I want a long, powerful sound happening. Here's what it sounds like. On the subject of unique sounding crashes, and I guess looking too, we have my PSTX 18-inch medium Swiss crash. It's called a Swiss crash because it's full of holes like Swiss cheese, and Peisty is a Swiss company. Wordplay. Now, the tonal character of this one is quite different due to being full of holes. It sounds somewhere like the midpoint between a China and a crash. It has that sort of trashy, explosive edge of a China, but it's shaped like a crash, so it carries over a bit of the character of that as well. It has a fast decay due to the light weight of the cymbal due to being full of holes, and is great for doing wash, crash ride kind of applications, due to it having the fast decay, and yeah, great midpoint between a crash and a China. It sounds kind of like this. Okay, finally, we are going to be talking about the two ride cymbals that I have. First, this black one here is from Peisty 2002. It is the Psychoctopus Giga Bell ride. It is the signature ride of Achilles Priester, who's an awesome drummer. Check him out. This one is really unusual for a ride. 18 inches is extremely small. Generally, the smallest you get for a ride is 20 inches. They get as big as, I think I've seen 28 inches. It has an extremely pronounced and powerful bell. In combination with the relatively small ride size, it has an interesting dynamic. relatively high-pitched ping, but a deep, powerful bell. And it's an interesting addition to the other ride, which I'll be talking about next. But as for this guy, here's a little bit of what you can expect when I'm hitting it. And finally, this, I think, is the cymbal that I have owned the longest and was the one that got me into Peisty, which is now, as you've seen, most of my cymbal setup. This guy here is the Peisty Signature 22-inch Blue Bell ride. It is the signature ride of Stuart Copeland of the Police. As with the previous ride, it has a coating, this one being blue, the previous being black. This coating is excellent for rides. It cuts down on the wash and makes the ping much more defined. This also has a beautiful bell. It's cutting, it's powerful, it's rich. The tone is just fantastic. It also gives some dynamic options, because if you hit it with the tip of the stick, it gives off a sound typical of a smaller ride bell, but you can lay into it with the shoulder of a stick for a much deeper, more powerful sound, if you feel like it. Brilliant cymbal. And here is what it sounds like. So there you have it. There's my cymbals. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight into what I've got going on my kit and why I picked it for you fellow drum gear enthusiasts out there. If you are here, you might as well check out some of the other videos I've got on my channel. I have some covers and various other things will be coming soon, so hit subscribe. And when you're watching other stuff, now you know what all these cymbals are that I'm hitting. See ya!